Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Southern Santa Piper. I'm your host, Kenny, and today it is Merchant Service Monday. Today, we are going to do all things merchant service. I'm smoking a merchant service pipe. I am using my merchant service tamper. I'm using my merchant service lighter. And I am trying for the first time today, which has got me a little nervous, a new tobacco released by KBV for merchant service, Fireside Chat. They ship it out in these nice Mylar bags. Give you a nice label for the top of your jars. And this is something I don't usually smoke. It is a Burley based and Virginia based. They call it an aromatic, but I don't think it's aromatic in the sense. I don't know if you all can see this, but it is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful brown, tan, gold color. Gorgeous. Let me give you my first impressions and then we'll get this thing lit up. Oh, it's heavenly. Actually, let me get this back in the bag. I don't want to waste a drop of this. I'm usually really extra careful with my KBV blends because they're such limited. And this, I'm not smelling a topping. So if there's a topping on here, I don't smell it. I'm smelling that natural kind of cocoa that you get from the Burley. Maybe a hint of like vanilla. I'm smelling a little bit of hay from the Virginia, a little bit of a grassy note, and just an overall kind of molasses type of sweetness. I mean, to me, it smells a lot, in my opinion, to some of those old over-the-counter blends. A lot like Edgeworth, if my memory serves me, but it's been years. And the current, either the Sutliff Match or the Lane Ready Rubbed, isn't quite the same. It's close. I actually mix both of those together, and I throw in a little bit of Peter Sotheby's Cube Cut when I'm in the rare mood for a Burley. I generally don't do many Burleys because, as I've mentioned, they're too high in nicotine for me. But they come in these nice Mylar bags. I would imagine if one did not want to, and I've never done any study on these Mylar bags, but I would imagine that one could push out most of the air like I've already done in this one, and just put the seal back on, and you could probably keep them forever in these bags, especially when they're not open. They're vacuum sealed. I've got a few bags of KBV tobaccos, primarily Van Gogh, and I think there's one or two others that I have still in the bag. I always try to get at least 2 bags, 1 bag to store, and 1 bag to open, try, and then jar, and try it at different intervals. Not drinking my typical iced coffee today. Drinking a Teizo skinny chai latte, and I know that sounds a bit Um, maybe a bit yuppie-ish, but I really like the taste of tea. And I go with the skinny ones because it is simply lower in sugar. And being a diabetic, I try to keep my sugar levels low. I shouldn't be drinking any sugar, but it's my one guilty pleasure, and I don't drink a lot of this. Maybe a glass a day. Besides that, I only have some sugars on occasion. But let's give this a shot. I can already tell from the char. I could be wrong when I said I'm not a Burley fan. Maybe I just haven't had the right Burley. This is a good Burley. From talking to Greg over at Merchant Service Pipes, and Greg, thank you for sending this off to me, is that he told me that during its testing phase, they were calling this house shoes, I believe. It was kind of the code name. They had it last year. They were giving out samples of it last year at their table at the pipe show in Ohio. I'm hoping they do the pipe show in Chicago in May, and I would love to go to that one. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I would love to attend it. Let me give you my impressions of this. Well, even though the Burleys are pretty forward in tin note, to my taste buds, the Virginias are present. They're really present. They are. Let's sit back and relax. Enjoy this pipe. This, I can taste that hay grassy note right up front. It's forward. I get a underneath that kind of gray that hay grass note. I'm getting that little bit of that sweet molasses from the brewing, but also the sweetness from the genius are coming through. The grass notes coming through is the primary, is what I'm getting from the Virginias. Cocoa. Not really chocolate, but just Just a hint. Now, what I did not mention on this is moisture content. Moisture content on this, at least on my back, was perfect. Perfect right out of the bag. Perfect moisture. I know Burleys have the ability to bite. This one's not giving me any bite at all. Love, love, love this pipe. For those who aren't familiar with the Merchant Service 1935, and I've done a video with my sandblasted one. This is what they call their English tan finish, which is more of their natural, I guess. This particular's got a lot of cross grain on it. I was really undecided when I first seen it. It's like, God, do I love it or do I not love it? Do I love it? Do I not love it? Well, I loved it enough to pull the trigger on it. It's between this and the red. Between the red briar, or I think they call it dark red. But this is just stunning. And I almost hate to admit it, it is becoming one of my favorite pipes. You know, Ken, why would we be afraid to? Because my favorite shape and my favorite smoke has been the beans and the Canadians, but there's just something about this that is just amazing. Now, what I will tell you, unless you've got plenty of time, don't load it up all the way. Load it up halfway, load it up 3/4 the way. Nobody says you gotta load your pipe all the way up to the top. You load this up and you're gonna have a good hour smoke. Maybe an hour and a half. If you're like me with that gift of gab who sometimes just can't shut up, you may spend more time smoking or talking than smoking, and might even go longer. Kind of a gloomy looking afternoon here in North Central Florida. I'm inside today. Wife is running some errands. Going out to Spar Building Materials, picking up a few things that we need. I think she's more interested in looking for more chicks. We picked up a bunch of baby chicks about a week or two ago to add to our flock, but she's kind of depressed over our flock because our rooster got killed this morning. We found him by our brick fire pit over by the backside of we got a small barn out in back, and my worker Mark was like, "Boss man, come over here." I was like, "What's going on, buddy?" He said, "You need to see this." And he showed me, and it was my rooster, and he had been torn up. Looks like a coyote got him. Could have been a feral dog, but a feral dog probably would have ate him. He was tore up pretty bad, it looks like, and there were feathers all over back part of my yard, so it looks like he was putting up a fight and being chased for a while. Poor guy. I just simply called him Mr. Rooster. I've got kind of nicknames now for most of mine. But where I usually sit out on the porch to smoke my pipe, he liked to come out there and talk to me. Just sit out there, occasionally try to fly in. He got in one day, I couldn't get him to leave. He didn't want to leave. He wanted to hang out inside with me. The chickens and the roosters see my wife and I as their food source, so every time they see us, they come running up to us. It's kind of fun. Knock on wood, my dogs are being good. Got them put up today so we don't get any photo bombs. The last time I did one, I noticed photo bomb of Hugo. I think you guys can tell I'm enjoying this. God, it's got a lovely room note as well. I'll be really curious what my wife thinks about this one when she walks in. I'd be shocked if anyone found offensive if you smoked this around them. Lovely, lovely tobacco. I like to cleanse and cool my palate anytime I'm smoking. Now, especially when I'm smoking an aromatic and a burley, I tend to be a fast smoker. I'm sure you guys notice this. I kind of hotbox, kind of chimney smoke. I think it's from years of being a cigarette smoker. So you're more likely to get a little bit of bite when you smoke a little fast on a burley or an aromatic. Getting a slight tingle, but I can't really call that bite as much as smoking too quickly. So we're going to put this one down for a bit. And we're going to pull some of this tobacco back out again. I'm a little curious to really take a look at this leaf and see what we can notice on it. One of the things it doesn't mention to me in this description, but I could swear there's some Turkish tobacco in here. I can't speak for modern cigarettes. But back when I was a child, my biological father, who I was raised up as being my older brother, that's a long story. I was adopted by my paternal grandparents. So I was raised by my grandparents. So their son was actually my father, but I was not raised thinking of him as such. I thought of him as my brother. In any case, I remember when he first came back from Vietnam. I was about 5. It was 1968. I was born in 1963, Christmas 1963. And he came back from Vietnam. And he smoked Camels. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. He'd come back and he came back from Vietnam and he had tattoos on his arm. Really kind of dark and quiet. Afterwards, he was a Green Beret Special Forces Ranger. Did 2 tours of duty in 1966 through 1968. And I thought it was cool that he smoked cigarettes. Now, as an adult, I think that's not cool at all. But I thought it was cool. Well, I used to take his cigarettes and smell them. Just put the cigarettes under my nose, take a deep whiff of that tobacco, and there was something about that raw smell of tobacco. I did not like the smell of cigarettes, even as Camels, but I loved the smell of the raw tobacco. And I remember all as a child, he did not live with us. He was married all through his life, various times. I think he had four wives. But he'd come visit us in the summer, come visit us around Christmas sometimes. And when he did, I always smoked the cigarettes. And it was one of the things I always loved was that smell of their quote-unquote Turkish tobacco. So now I always associate that smell of Turkish tobacco with Camels from back then. But, I'm pretty sure that's what I was smelling was a lot of Virginians with some Turkish. And that's what I'm smelling here, too. It is not a heavy Turkish by any means. And I don't think they even list Turkish. I think they say Burley and Virginia. So I could be totally off on it. But it's got that really nice hay note like you get in a really fine, almost like Orlik golden slices, if you will, or maybe Stokely's luxury flake, which shocks me because this, again, supposed to be more of a burley blend, but I'm really, the more I, can I see it? Let me kind of mix this up. When I mix it up, I smell a little bit more. Oh, it is that kind of archetypal, just what I would consider kind of that 60s tobacco smell. It's a smell that I remember smelling in pipes. It smells similar to the smell from my father's cigarettes. It is a smell that I remember being in people's homes who smoke pipes and smelling this smell. It's very similar, and I couldn't tell you which tobacco it was. I mean, I was 5, 6, 7 years old, and I don't think I ever questioned what one smoked back then. The only reason I have the memory of the Camels, because, well, packs of cigarettes used to be laying in front of me, and I'd smell them like many kids did. I'm sure a lot of you probably snuck your first puff from a dad's cigarette or your first sip of beer from a dad's beer. My grandparents didn't do any of those things. They were extremely religious Pentecostal and did not smoke, did not drink, did not dance. Women weren't supposed to cut their hair or even wear pants back then. At crazy times. This is definitely one that I'm going to add on my rotation. I'm going to have to get more of this. No ands, ifs, or buts. This is, and I think it's going to age really well, which is wild because Burleys generally aren't known to age well. But I think with the Virginias in here, I think it's going to go from really good to something out of this world. very comforting. Very, very comforting tobacco. I think it would kind of invoke a lot of memories for people, or invoke maybe certain times of the years, or maybe thoughts of your grandfather or a favorite uncle. It's that kind of blend. I've really come to love my English blends, but wow, haven't found a burley that I've been totally crazy about, but this is it. This is it. Makes me want to try a few more now. Nicotine level's not super high in this, at least not for me. It's pretty well balanced. Mm. Oh, I just love the smell. There is a definitely kind of a vanilla note to the room. Mmm, it's heavenly. That's going to be it today, guys, for Merchant Service Monday. Thank you again so much for joining me. If you're enjoying these videos, please hit the like and hit the subscribe. Hit that little notification bell if you want to be updated every time I have videos. I think I am now starting to think I'm going to start slowing it down to 6 days a week, maybe ease into 5. Going to start taking Sundays off. Too much in our schedules just to be doing it every Sunday. So Sundays will be a day of rest for me. I may take a few pictures that I'll put up on my Facebook or Instagram account, but no videos on that day. In other words, I think I'm going to continue doing daily for a while, and we'll go from there. Again, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate that we're over 100 subscribers now, so please continue sharing with your friends. And thank you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care.